Hi folks, my name is Allie D'Andrea. Welcome back to another episode of Source to Smoke. Tonight, we are grilling up these delicious venison breakfast burritos on our Oklahoma Joe's Firecraft grill. These burritos are so easy to make, yet are so delicious. I can't wait to share this recipe with you. So without further ado, let's jump right in. I'm currently at deer camp, which I feel like is a very fitting environment for this particular recipe. The venison that we're using is venison that we harvested right here in PA, and breakfast burritos are a big hit in this household. It's very easy to freeze them for a really quick grab and go breakfast, which is kind of the name of the game when it comes to hunting camp. It's a lot of early mornings. And being able to eat something delicious like this just, kicks the day off right. So we are going to start by mixing up the seasoning blend for this beautiful venison sausage. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of sage, 2 teaspoons of thyme, and 1 teaspoon of rosemary. Next up, we have some fennel seeds. Next, we're adding 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Last thing that we are adding to our seasoning blend is a tablespoon of light brown sugar. Then I'll just go ahead and mix this all up. And then we'll set this aside and we'll continue prepping our ingredients. Cheese is an absolute must on these breakfast burritos, and I like to grate my cheese fresh. I'm going in with a mild cheddar. So to make our lives easier, I'm going to grate it all now so that it's ready to go when we're building our burritos. In order to make venison sausage, I first need to grind up some venison. So I'm just cutting this into strips to feed into the grinder to have everything ground up nice and fresh. Now I'm adding about 1 pound of pork to our ground venison. Then I'm sprinkling in our seasoning blend and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, as well as 2 tablespoons of ice cold water. If you have gloves, I highly recommend wearing gloves here because you want to mix with your hands until everything starts to form together and it becomes tacky. Tonight I am cooking on the Firecraft grill by Oklahoma Joe's. This thing is so much fun. This is like the best kind of outdoor cooking. You can cook 360 around it. If you're having a party, people can literally gather around while you're cooking, which is like one of my favorite dynamics of cooking on this type of a grill. So to get started, I'm using some charcoal briquettes. My bag busted open as I was carrying it over here. So all I'm going to do is add some charcoal briquettes to the bottom of the grill. Only on one side. I want to create a direct heat zone and an indirect heat zone. Then I'll shove a couple fire starters underneath the charcoal, light them up, and be patient as the charcoal gets going. It'll take anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. Our grill is preheated. The charcoal is nice and white hot. I pushed it so there's a nice even layer underneath this grill grate, and I'm gonna take my cast iron pan and place that right in the center. Now we want this to preheat for at least 5 minutes. It needs to be nice and hot before we add our venison sausage. Now, one of the coolest features about this grill are the adjustable grates. So these move up and down with ease. All you have to do is loosen the handle, and then you can slide them up or down, whatever you need while you're cooking, which is awesome. And you can push them to the side. So if things start to get a little too hot, it's easy to just move it off the heat. I love cooking on this grill because of how easy it is to play around with the temperatures. Venison sausage has been added to the pan. We heard an instant sizzle as soon as it hit the pan, which is great news. That means that our cast iron was preheated, which is very important. And I just swung this second cast iron over top. I'm going to cook the eggs in this cast iron. So by bringing it over the heat, this can slowly start to preheat. With eggs, we want to cook them at a much lower temperature. So having the adjustability to keep this cast iron high while this cast iron low is really great. Ooh, yeah, very nice color already. That's awesome. Venison sausage is ready. We've got some beautiful color going on. So now I'm gonna switch spots. I'll take our venison sausage, put her up high. So this will still hang out and stay warm, but also it's out of our way. Now I'll take this cast iron pan that has been lightly preheating off to the side and drop that down over the hot side of the grill. Now I'm gonna lift this up because again, the eggs do not need to cook at as high of a temperature. And I may even need to raise this a little bit more, but we'll start here. To this cast iron pan, I'm adding some butter. You want to be generous with your butter here. So this is kind of my indicator for, is our pan hot enough for our eggs? Is it too hot for our eggs? When the butter is slowly melting like this, you're at the right temp. So when I cook my eggs, I like the temperature low, like I mentioned, and then I also like to move them around quite a bit using a wooden spatula of sorts. This is coming together really nice. So at about this stage, I like to season. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise this up just a little bit. Then I wanna add a little bit of kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. You still wanna season the eggs even though they'll have some cheese on them, which will add some salt, but you still want to season each individual item in the burrito. While we have our last few minutes of light out here, I'm also going to heat up our tortillas over the charcoal. Take our tortilla, right on the grate. I think this is a little high. I might wanna drop it down a bit, but you wanna give it maybe 10 seconds aside. Yeah, probably do about there. By heating them up, it gives them a little more pliability, it makes them a little softer, which will help when we go to roll our burritos. Watch this, take my eggs, stack it right on top. All right, first up, our venison sausage. Add some of this. It's tempting to add too much. You have to try and restrain yourself a little bit because too much filling will make this overflow. So something that looks about like that. Next, we'll add our scrambled egg right on top. And to bring it all together, some beautifully shredded cheddar cheese. Time to wrap it up. Why does it have wings? Hold on. Tuck in the wings. There we go. Oh yeah. The burritos turned out beautiful. Look at that cross section. I love the way they look when you cut them open like that. I love how easy these burritos are to make. I love that you can make them in bulk and then pull them out of your freezer and have a beautiful, delicious meal that's made with wild game, which is the coolest full circle part in all of this. I do want to mention, I portioned off a good amount of that venison and kept it to cook for another day. This is all just for my husband and I to eat for dinner tonight. Normally, I make a bunch of these. I'm talking like 10, 12 or more at a time, and then I freeze them. So just if you were curious where the other half of the venison went, that is where it went. Let's give these a try. Cheers. The real star of the show here is our venison sausage. The pork gives it all of the fat that it needs. Like, you can't make sausage without adding in some fat. But the seasonings that we added to this sausage, the fresh thyme, fresh sage, fresh rosemary, the sweetness from the brown sugar and the maple syrup, that's it. That is all there is to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you love this recipe as much as I do. For more episodes of Source to Smoke, you can check them out right here on Oklahoma Joe's YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.